I flirted shamelessly at my sister's wedding. His response was unbelievable. What I am about to share here would feel like something out of a movie. My life feels like a sob drama in the last few days. It was supposed to be one of the happiest times of my life, my little sister's wedding, but unfortunately it turned into a personal nightmare for me. The tension between me and my husband reached a breaking point, leading to hurtful words and actions that I never expected. The once joyous occasion quickly spiraled into a chaotic mess, leaving me feeling emotionally drained and disconnected from those I love. I could not believe that my husband would react to something so silly in such a harsh way that would change our lives forever. Let me first start with introducing myself. My name is Charlie, age 33, married to Philip, aged 45. We had been married for 5 years, happily at that. I know what you guys are thinking. I am aware of the age gap between us, but I wanted someone mature and with a lot of patience. I had grown up in a very traumatic environment as a child, seeing my parents argue almost every day. This led me to seek stability and security in a partner, which I found in Philip. Despite our age difference, we share common values and have a strong, loving relationship built on understanding and respect. That's why I value stability and emotional maturity in a partner. Philip's calm demeanor and wisdom have been a source of comfort for me, helping me heal from my past experiences. My little sister Alex was getting married. She wanted me and Philip to take care of all the preparations and organize everything, as we were the only family she had. She was 8 years younger to me, and I had been super protective about her since childhood. I was extremely delighted that she had finally decided to take the plunge to find her happiness with someone she loved. I told her that I would be honored to make sure that it would be the best day of her life and she had nothing to worry about. Philip was equally excited and encouraged me to do everything I could for my sister. Together, we started planning the wedding and making sure every detail was perfect for Alex's special day. With Philip's support and my determination, we were determined to make her wedding a beautiful and unforgettable occasion. We spent countless hours planning the perfect wedding, from choosing the venue to selecting the flowers and menu. As the big day approached, I couldn't wait to see Alex walk down the aisle and start this new chapter in her life. I flew to Detroit 2 weeks ahead of the wedding to help Alex with the wedding dress and the rest of the preparations. Alex and I were all we had to support each other in every turn of life. Philip was supposed to join us after a week to help us with the rest of the arrangements. We were making decent progress with making sure that everything was on track. I was trying my best to lessen as much pressure from Alex as I could. Alex was feeling overwhelmed with the wedding planning, so I took on more responsibilities to ease her stress. Despite the challenges, we were determined to make sure everything was perfect for the big day. I wanted her to enjoy the process as much as possible, despite the stress that comes with wedding planning. With Philip's arrival, we were hopeful that everything would come together smoothly for the big day. As the wedding day approached, we were relieved to have Philip's help in finalizing the last-minute details. With his assistance, we were able to ensure that everything was set for the big day. It was 5 days before the wedding, and we were almost ready for the wedding. I was feeling very content with what we had achieved, even after having no prior experience organizing anything in our lives. 2 days before the wedding, me and Philip had a disagreement on the dress I would be wearing to the wedding. He told me that it was way too revealing, and it might not be a good idea to wear it. Alex and I had a discussion, and she encouraged me to wear it since there would be no other occasion where I could possibly wear it. I decided to trust Alex's advice and wear the dress despite Philip's opinion. It was D-Day, and Philip had been upset with my dress from the moment I decided that I was going to wear it to the wedding. We had stopped talking, and I felt like he was overreacting just for a dress. I mean, it was just a dress. He did not have to be so upset and stop talking to me. I believed that I should feel happy about what I wear for my own sister's wedding. It was a special day for me, too, so I would rather be happy if Philip let me do things that made me happy. I tried to explain to him that it was important for me to feel confident and comfortable in what I was wearing, but he wouldn't listen. In the end, I decided to wear the dress anyway because it made me feel good about myself. Philip stayed aloof from me and minded his own business with little to no interaction with us. It looked as if he was one of the forced guests who made it to the wedding because he had no choice. I was mad at him for not trying to involve or show any interest in the wedding games. He knew that me and Alex were close, and her wedding meant the world to me. I wanted to show her that marriages can be happy if you want them to. However, Philip had no intention to cooperate with me. I felt disappointed that he didn't seem to care about making the day special for Alex. Despite my efforts to involve him, he remained disinterested and uncooperative, which made me question his commitment to our relationship. He knew that both me and Alex grew up around parents who kept bickering and fighting with each other. Alex always was scared of getting married and never liked the idea of marriage as an institution. Now that her opinion had changed, I wanted her to see that even I was happy, and that she could be too. I hoped that Alex's change of heart about marriage would bring her peace and fulfillment. I also wanted to show her that healthy relationships were possible, despite our upbringing. I believed that by supporting Alex in her decision to embrace marriage, I could help her break free from the negative patterns of our past and create a new, positive future for herself. It was important for me to show her that love and commitment could be sources of joy and strength, rather than fear and conflict. One of my old flames was also invited to the wedding ceremony, which was a surprise for me too. I had gone through the guest list but never came across his name. Andrew and I were childhood sweethearts. We grew up together and everyone expected us to end up together, but as we grew older, we realized how different we were and who we had completely different dreams. We parted ways after college, and I had never seen him after that. I was in fact quite surprised to see him, as not in my wildest dream was I expecting to see him again. Seeing Andrew at the wedding brought back a flood of memories, both good and bad. It was a bittersweet reminder of our past, and how much we had both changed since then. As we caught up during the reception, it was clear that we had both moved on, and were happy with our separate lives. It was a bittersweet moment, reminiscing about our past while appreciating the present. I was pissed with Philip for not being helpful. I was wearing a heavy dress and was unable to walk in high heels. It was difficult for me to manage everything with what I was wearing. I looked at Philip, who was lost in his own world, and did not even glance at me, struggling not to trip and fall. Just when I was about to fall, Andrew caught me and saved me some embarrassment. As Andrew got me, I felt a rush of emotions and was taken back in time when we used to date each other. I couldn't help but feel grateful for Andrew's timely intervention, and a sense of nostalgia washed over me as we made eye contact. It was a bittersweet reminder of the connection we once shared. I looked at Philip, who was busy stuffing his face with food. I was perplexed looking at Philip, who showed zero interest in the wedding or anything related to it. It looked as if he was one of the guests and not the host, which was making me super angry. I couldn't understand why he was acting so nonchalant about the event that was supposed to be important to him. His lack of involvement was disrespectful and frustrating. I decided to confront him about his behavior when I got the chance, wanting to understand what was going on in his mind. I hoped that by talking to him, we could resolve the issue, and he could start taking his responsibilities seriously. On the other hand, I saw Andrew, who was helping me as much as he could, as if it was his responsibility to make sure that the wedding happens without any glitches. In that instant, he felt more like family than Philip ever did. Andrew's dedication and support during the wedding preparations truly showcased his commitment to ensuring everything went smoothly. His selflessness and genuine care made him feel like a true member of the family, surpassing any previous expectations. Andrew's dedication and support made me realize that a true family isn't always blood-related. It's about the love and care that someone shows in times of need. When I went to check on my sister, she gave me a wicked smile as if she knew what was going on. She told me that my fall that was saved by Andrew made an impression on him, and that is when he started helping out. We both laughed at the stupid conversation that we were having. It felt like the old times when we used to have mindless conversations and laugh endlessly just thinking about it. Andrew joined us in a bit, and we could not stop laughing looking at him. Alex told him what we were talking about, and how seeing us together reminded her of the times when we used to spend endless hours in each other's company. He joined our conversation and said that he missed the time that he spent with us and would do anything to go back in time to relive those moments. Andrew's presence added to the nostalgia, making us all feel grateful for the memories we shared. It was a reminder of how special our bond truly is and how much we value each other's company. Andrew's presence brought back a flood of memories and nostalgia, making us all feel grateful for the bond we shared. As we continued to reminisce, the laughter and joy only grew stronger, solidifying our friendship even more. We all shared stories and reminisced about the good old days, feeling grateful for the memories we created together. As the night went on, we realized that no matter how much time had passed, our bond remained strong and unbreakable. Andrew's presence truly was a reminder of the enduring nature of our friendship, and we knew that no matter where life took us, we would always have each other to lean on. The night ended with a sense of gratitude for the past and excitement for the future, knowing that our bond would continue to withstand the test of time. As me and Andrew continued making sure that everything was perfect and everybody was having a good time, we were kind of flirting with each other in between to keep the enthusiasm and also enjoy and have some fun. I completely forgot about Philip and was engrossed in Andrew. We shared inside jokes and playful banter, creating a connection that felt natural and exciting. It was a welcome distraction from the stress of hosting, allowing us to relax and enjoy each other's company. Our chemistry was undeniable, and I found myself drawn to him more and more as the night went on. It was as if we were in our own little world, completely oblivious to anyone else around us. When it was time for everybody to get on the dance floor, all of us started dancing. That is when I remembered that I might have to dance with my husband and start searching for Philip. I couldn't find him anywhere, and his call was going straight to voicemail. I do not want to ruin my mood on such a big day, so I decided to just forget about him and enjoy myself. As the music got louder and the party became livelier, I found myself getting lost in the moment and having a great time with my friends. I realized that I didn't need Philip to have a good time, and I danced the night away without a care in the world. As the music continued to play, I let go of my worries and immersed myself in the celebration. The joy of the moment was too infectious to resist, and I found myself dancing with friends and family, creating memories that would last a lifetime. It was time for the slow dance, and all the couples were called on the dance floor. Of course, I could not spot Philip anywhere in the vicinity. In the meanwhile, Andrew asked me out to dance with him for old time's sake. He definitely owned the dance after helping me out with the preparations and making sure all the guests attended. It was as if me and Andrew were a couple, and most of the people who had not seen Philip thought the same. It was a bittersweet moment, realizing that Andrew had always been there for me when Philip was not. As we danced, I couldn't help but feel grateful for his unwavering support and friendship throughout the years. The chemistry between Andrew and I was undeniable as we twirled around the dance floor, catching the attention of many. It was a bittersweet moment, knowing that Philip was not there to share it with me. I went along with people's assumptions, as denying that Andrew was not my husband would pose a lot of unnecessary questions, which I did not want to answer. I did not want to explain to everyone that my husband, who was one of the main hosts, was missing from the event. It would be quite embarrassing and raise lots of questions. I did not want the focus to shift from Alex and her big day with people gossiping about issues in my marriage. It was easier to just go along with the assumption for the sake of keeping the attention on Alex and her celebration. Plus, I didn't want to deal with any potential rumors or speculation about my personal life. I decided to simply smile and nod, letting everyone believe what they wanted to believe. It was better to maintain the facade of a happy marriage rather than address the truth and potentially cause unnecessary drama at the event. After the ceremony came to an end, I went to the hotel room me and Philip were staying in. I saw him getting drunk and being wasted. I asked him where the hell he had been while I was searching for him throughout the wedding. He smiled and said that he was right in front of me, but I was so busy flirting with my newly found old flame. He did not want to get in the way, so he just made it easy for me. I could not believe that after missing most of the wedding, he was standing in front of me blaming me for everything. I scowled and told him that because he was missing, I had to rely on Andrew to get things done. If that required a little flirting to keep him interested and help me, then obviously I did not mind doing that. I could see the hurt in his eyes, but I was too caught up in my own emotions to fully comprehend the impact of my actions. I told him that he left me no choice but to take Andrew's help, as Philip had been so disinterested in taking up any of the responsibilities. He laughed and told me that he saw how I was ordering him around while with Andrew. I was batting my eyelids every time I wanted to get him to do something. I might have done that more than a few times to grab Andrew's attention, but there was no way I was going to admit it to Philip. This was an argument, and I wanted to make sure that I was the one winning it no matter what. I knew that Andrew was more reliable and efficient than Philip, so I didn't see anything wrong with seeking his help. Plus, I enjoyed the playful dynamic between us, even if it meant resorting to some subtle tactics to get things done. He told me that once we were back home, then he was going to hand me divorce papers. He said that he had now seen how happy and joyful I had been at the wedding and reception party with Andrew. He realized that I was never truly happy with him. He wanted to set me free so that I could enjoy my life the way I wanted. He told me that I did not have to be stuck up with an old soul and suppress my wishes for him. He admitted that he had been holding me back and that it was time for us to both move on and find happiness elsewhere. He assured me that he wanted what was best for me, even if it meant letting go. I was shocked and saddened by his words, but deep down I knew he was right. It was a bittersweet moment, but I knew Andrew was my past, and this new chapter that I started in my life without him was something I was very grateful for. I was shocked to see him speak about ending our relationship on the basis of some harmless flirting. How could he even come up with such ridiculous things? I tried to explain to him that what I was doing with Andrew was just harmless flirting and nothing serious. I emphasized that my feelings for him were genuine and that I had no intention of pursuing anything beyond friendship with Andrew. I hoped he would understand and give our relationship another chance. I told him that he was overreacting to a very small thing which meant nothing. I did not want to exaggerate it and make it into a long argument, so I tried to play it down. I suggested that we sleep on it as we were both exhausted. He might feel better tomorrow, when he is well asleep. I also reassured him that our relationship was strong enough to handle minor disagreements, and that we could talk about it more calmly in the morning. I emphasized the importance of communication and understanding each other's perspectives. I was too tired with all the organization and running around in heels that all I wanted was a hot bath, accompanied by a relaxing sleep. I knew that taking some time to rest and recharge would help us approach the situation with a clearer mind. It was important to prioritize self-care in order to address the issue effectively the next day. I made sure to express my love and appreciation for him before we went to bed. I reminded him that we were a team and that we would work through any challenges together. When I got up the next day, I could not find Philip anywhere. I assumed that he might have gone downstairs for breakfast, as I got up way too later than I had planned. I met Alex and her husband, but there was no sign of Philip anywhere. I even spotted Andrew at a far-off table, and we exchanged smiles. I decided to ask Alex if she had seen Philip recently, but she hadn't. Concerned, I began to search the entire hotel for him, hoping he was just exploring on his own. Maybe he went for a walk to clear his head about last night's conversation. As I combed through the hotel, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that was growing in my stomach. I started to ask the staff if they had seen him, but no one seemed to know his whereabouts. After searching for a while, I finally found Philip sitting by the pool, lost in thought. I approached him and asked if everything was okay, relieved to see him safe and sound. I hugged him and said that I had been looking for him everywhere. I told him that I was very excited for the reception today. I looked at him, and he seemed to look normal, so I assumed that we were good and sorted. I left him to take one last check at the venue and decorations for the reception. I was walking towards my room when I bumped into Andrew. He asked me if I had some time to catch up. I did not want to ruin his mood, so even though I was tired and wanted to just sleep, I said that I could spare some time. Andrew and I ended up chatting for hours, reminiscing about old times and catching up on each other's lives. It was a pleasant surprise to reconnect with him after so long. As we said our goodbyes, I felt grateful for the unexpected but enjoyable conversation. I quickly rushed to get ready for the reception. I saw that Philip was dressed and almost ready to head to the venue. I told Philip to give me 20 minutes to doll myself up, and we could leave together. Philip asked me to take my time and that he would be checking on the guests. I kissed him for being so understanding and told him that I would join him soon. After finishing my hair and makeup, I joined Philip at the reception. He smiled and complimented me on how beautiful I looked, making me feel even more excited for the evening ahead. During the entire reception, Philip maintained a subtle distance with me, as if he was avoiding me. I did not understand what it was all about. I decided to enjoy the evening and not give in to his tantrums. When I met him in the room, he had already slept. I realized that there was no point waking him up for a discussion. I decided that we could discuss what was wrong with him on our way back home. It would be a matter of one more day, and we would be home. I would be more comfortable doing this at home than in a hotel room. I made a mental note to address the issue with him in a calm and collected manner once we were back in familiar surroundings. It seemed like the best course of action, given the circumstances. It was important to me to have a productive conversation rather than escalating any tension further. When we reached home, Philip headed to the study ice and locked himself in. I tried to ask him if he was okay and if he wanted to talk about something that is bothering him. He did not answer me, so I decided to rest up and then talk to him after he is a little calm. I took a nap longer than usual, probably due to the tiresome events of the wedding. When I went to study, I could find Philip anywhere. He left me a text saying that he would be out till late, so I could do whatever I wanted at that time and not wait for him. I decided to respect his space and let him have some time alone to introspect. It was important to give him some space, so I used the time to relax and unwind on my own. I got up the next day and saw that Philip had already left for work. I was hating this cold shoulder that he was showing me. This silent treatment was killing me from inside, so I made it a point to make sure to have a conversation with him no matter what. He came home in the evening and handed me an envelope with divorce papers. He told me that he had already signed them, so I should not bother with changing his mind. I was shocked and devastated by his sudden decision. I realized that our marriage was truly over, despite my efforts to salvage it. The reality of our marriage ending hit me like a ton of bricks, leaving me feeling lost and heartbroken. I realized that our relationship was truly over, despite my efforts to communicate and reconcile. He just left me speechless and locked himself in the study again. I collected myself and started banging on the door, asking him to open up so that we could talk before taking such a big step. I was weeping and pleading with him to just talk to me once so that we could sort it out. I started talking to the door itself as Philip had decided not to open the door. I told him that I was deeply sorry if I had hurt him in any way. There was nothing between me and Andrew that he had to worry about. It was just that I suddenly saw him after a long time and connected instantly. I assured him that my feelings for Andrew were in the past and that I only wanted to focus on our relationship. I begged him to give me a chance to explain and make things right between us. Philip met me at breakfast the next day and told me that I would have to pack my bags and make space so that he had more space for things that he liked. I asked him why he was making such a big issue out of nothing. Philip explained that he needed more room for his belongings because he had accumulated a lot of items over the years and didn't have enough space. He also mentioned that he wanted to feel more comfortable in his own house now that he had no one to share it with. I held his hand and begged him to not take such a drastic step out of jealousy. He said that he had seen me spend hours and hours talking and laughing with Andrew as if we were still in love. He did not want me to hold on to this unrequited love that I had for him and express it. He just wanted to get out of our way. I reassured him that my friendship with Andrew was purely platonic and that I still cared deeply for him. I promised to make more time for us to reconnect and work through any issues together. Philip forced me to leave the house the next day with whatever I wished to take with me. It was as if my entire world crumbled in a matter of a few days. I now feel devastated and broke. A simple argument led to the end of such a beautiful relationship. The clash of egos between me and Philip, along with my senseless behavior of flirting with Andrew just to make Philip jealous, had changed my entire life. I regret my actions and wish I could turn back time to fix things. I should have handled the situation differently. Moving forward, I will work on improving my communication skills and being more honest in my relationships. I did not expect that my past would walk into me and ruin my present and future in such a way that I would never be able to recover from it. It is disheartening that Philip, who I thought to be mature and understanding, had resorted to ending our relationship over such a petty issue. My spending time with Andrew, or a little harmless flirting, should not be the end of our long marriage. It just shows how insecure he is and how delicate was our bond to break over sheer jealousy. It's a painful realization that someone I trusted so deeply could let their insecurities destroy what we had built together. Moving forward, I will focus on healing and learning from this experience to ensure my future relationships are built on trust and understanding. To anyone who has been with me so far, I would like to tell you that don't blindly trust your partner to understand you fully. Even a tiny little thing that you do to upset them can end your relationship. I have learned my lesson the hard way and hope that you guys do not make the same mistakes. Communication is key in any relationship, so make sure to express your thoughts and feelings openly. It's important to address issues before they escalate and potentially damage the bond you have with your partner. Thank you all for taking time to listen to me and make me feel a little less pain.